And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Go ahead and say it, Ed. Go Tigers!
When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
You like that? You like that?
F it. Jamar's down there somewhere.
In the New Orleans Saints select Marcus Davenport.
No!
Splash Brothers. Yeah.
It's playoff. Get going, Brace.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
What is up, guys? Dirty Boot Sports, and we are back with episode number 119. It's a lot of numbers. It gets higher and higher, and it's just so crazy to look at.
That's how numbers go when you're counting.
That's
things.
very true. It's very true. We are officially 1 year in, though.
Yeah.
Yesterday, May 30th, was our 1 year anniversary of the podcast. It's been quite a run. And at that point last year, I was recording with the Warriors heading to the championship.
You were. Yeah.
And now they're not, but it's NBA Finals time. And it's Denver versus Miami Heat. David versus Goliath, I guess you could say. And we had to bring in our favorite guest, Fastbreak ENT. He is in the building again to talk about his Heat, which he said on this podcast. When was that interview? About a month ago?
Something like that.
Yeah, you said, hey, Miami's coming out the East.
He did. Was that early in the playoffs too?
It was round one.
Round one.
It was round one. And
I think it was during.
I think the Bucks were beating them by like 20.
Yeah, it was the Heat Bucks series.
Yeah, and they have somehow done it against all odds. Literally, I think they're a 3% chance to win the last series.
And like you would think it'd be all Jimmy Butler or Hemi Butler. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
and
trademarked.
Hemi hasn't even done anything really.
The last 2 or 3 games, he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't the savior that he was early on in the playoffs for sure. But that Heat team, man, Spoelstra. We're gonna get into that soon, though.
Top 10 coach all time.
I think it's
Absolutely.
Top 10 coach all time.
It's not a debate anymore. I would say.
I want a 30 for 30 on him. Whenever he's all said and done, about how the heck do you go from video choreographer, coordinator, whatever, to an NBA head coach?
Yeah,
was he even an assistant coach early on? So I can't even remember.
I don't think he was.
I remember the jokes of Pat Riley's going to fire him and coach the team himself with LeBron and them. I remember that happening.
Which is funny because that's the same thing Celtics fans are calling for Brad Stevens to do.
Yeah. With Missoula, I don't think you can give him a ton of credit. That's just me because whoever it was last year,
he was
the
an
same
assistant
thing,
from 97 to 08.
I thought he was an assistant on that 06 team.
Okay.
I wasn't positive. But.
And which I don't know.
How big of an assistant
exactly.
are we talking about? A towel boy,
He became, in 01, the assistant coach and director of scouting. So
okay.
Yeah,
so
he was an
7
assistant
years,
coach.
He paid his dues in. Okay, good for him.
He was credited for improving D. Wade's balance and jump shot.
You're welcome.
He is the Heat.
he really is, man.
But yeah, we're going to get into this pretty soon. Don't really have anything else to talk about. It's kind of a slow time for sports.
Who got hired as head coach the other day?
Nick Nurse to the
Nick
Sixers.
Nurse, that's right.
And there we go. And I don't know if you saw the story today. Detroit is supposed to offer Monty Williams like $10 million.
He's a great coach, but why would you want to go from the Suns to that? Why would you want to go from
he just wants to coach,
win now?
$10 million.
Yeah, $10 million.
That probably helps.
Yeah,
I wonder where that would have him ranked.
It'd be one of the
higher ones.
Yeah,
because you don't really hear about NBA coaches' salaries.
Well, and I think he'll also be getting paid from Phoenix still. Because I'm pretty sure he got bought out.
You can't just let him be fired like that without getting something paid.
So that'll be interesting to see. I mean, Detroit, they're on the come up. They have some pieces. Just got to be healthy. And another top draft pick this year.
The Bucks got them a new coach,
Adrian Griffin. Kenny Atkinson survived again. Still in Golden State. He's staying.
You think?
Only ones left is
Toronto, right?
Toronto, yeah.
Because JJ's
Toronto and then Phoenix and then Detroit. Those are only 3 left, and I don't think he's going to any of them.
Well, Bill Simmons has been saying for like 2 weeks that Kevin Young is getting the Phoenix job.
Yeah. I've seen about that.
Adamant on that.
And there's also Doc talks.
Right.
I don't
that
see
would
Doc.
make
I don't see
more
Doc
sense.
not coaching.
No. And kind of like Monty, in my opinion, he's at the stage of he ain't going to be coaching much longer.
Yeah.
You know, so Phoenix would make the most sense, and he's got that relationship with Chris Paul already.
That's true. That's
you
true.
know, from L.A. So,
That's true.
I mean, that would work there probably. And who's good at coaching stars than Doc
Who's
is?
good at coaching than
Doc.
who's good at choking more than Chris Paul and Doc Rivers?
That is true.
That'll be great.
Did y'all see where Ime Udoka is taking like 3 Celtics?
Yes.
Is he going to Houston?
Yeah, he's
right.
like they've already signed and are there. And one of them I saw something today. One of them's like the jump shot specialist or something for the Celtics, and
Shot doctor.
yeah, and he made Derek White go from 30% to like 39% this year. Yeah, Derek. I went through that pain last year with the Warriors.
All right, so that means he's about to fix Jalen Green a little bit, I guess.
Maybe so. We'll see. Or
Jalen Green's gonna be there.
yeah,
They'll trade him.
They need to. They better keep him.
I mean, that's probably their piece.
They better keep him.
I don't think Jabari Smith's that good. That's just me. I never understood, and this is my Duke fan coming out of me, I never understood why people thought he should be drafted ahead of Paolo last year.
He's just a freak athlete.
And I hate that. I mean, me and you talked about this the other day with the kid from Wisconsin that's about to come out. Three name dude. He's going to the draft this year. He's like 23.
Oh, Indiana,
same thing. Red and white, Big Ten.
TJD,
Yeah,
Trace
that
Jackson
guy.
Davis.
I mean, if he's good, who cares if he's 23 years old?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that shouldn't make you drop. He's probably top 10 player in the draft this year, and he's going to fall into the 20s.
Yeah, I
probably.
mean, he worked out for the Warriors, who have the 19th pick.
Yeah.
And
You
he'd
know,
be a
that's
great fit for the
stupid.
Warriors if
I
that
hate
happened.
that junk so much.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it with Keegan Murray too. He was a little bit older, coming out of Iowa, and was a great player. And people, including me, laughed at the Kings for drafting him 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably one of the best rookies in the NBA this past year. I think he broke the 3-point record.
He
for
scared
rookies.
y'all for a couple games.
Yeah, at the
Once he
end,
finally
he finally
started
caught
shooting.
fire. He finally caught fire. But we'll get into this pretty soon. Before that, I do want to do an ad read. So, Automotive Detailing Solutions is not the usual car wash. ADS provides intricate detailing to groom your vehicle both inside and out, focusing on quality over quantity. From carpet and seat extractions to paint polishing, ADS strives to be Jackson Parish's premier automotive detailer. Contact Matthew Smith at 318-475-9492. Add us on Facebook, or just ask the guys from Dirty Boot Sports about their ADS experiences. Shout out Matt. Got my truck cleaned today. Best in the business. No debate. Chance you getting yours soon? You need to.
Eventually, I got to clean it. I got to clean it out first.
Having that kid just makes the car dirty.
It makes life
huh?
really freaking hard, man. Like, and I know you got four. You got 4. You got like 4, right?
Yeah, 4.
I can't imagine, dude. I can't imagine. But I got a lot of golf clubs and crap. I found something the other day. I have a Yeti back there I didn't know I had, like a mug. I got another Winfield one. I'm like,
got every fast food bag in the city on the floor.
No, I don't keep my truck that dirty.
Oh, the car that I was in today.
Yeah, that was.
There was Raising
horrible
Cane's
stuff.
in there. That's in Ruston.
Yeah, we went there Tuesday.
All right. Well, that's not too far.
It's once you get out the car and you get up them steps with the kid, with the diaper bag, with your drink,
You're not
going
the
back
car.
down. Yeah, you're not going back down them steps, man. Because you got to make sure the kid's okay. You can't let him crawl out the car seat like he's tried to before. Like, he keeps us going, dude.
Yeah. So go get your car clean, get it good and fresh for the summer, and yeah, shout out to Matt.
He does a really good job.
He does. I had to book it like a week in advance because he's so busy. Yeah. So, but yeah, let's get into this. It's the finals. One that is, honestly, it's being joked about because it's the Nuggets who, they're in Denver, not the biggest fan base. I believe it's their first finals ever. And, you know, you don't really think, yeah, I'm a Nuggets fan. You don't really hear that in non-Denver areas. I guess you could say.
I don't know a single Nuggets fan.
Exactly.
No. I mean, I was when AI was there. That was about it.
Yeah, and you knew people that liked Melo.
And what was that comparison you and Peyton gave the Nuggets?
Yes,
before the playoffs started?
It was about late March. We did say that they're the Minnesota Vikings of the NBA, and hey, they've proved us wrong.
They have.
And I'm happy for them. I have nothing. I have no reason to root against the Nuggets.
They have no villains, in my opinion. I mean,
Nah.
What do you think coming from your standpoint?
As a Heat fan, Jokic might be a villain after what he did to the Morris brother.
Well, I think that creates an interesting storyline for finals that is kind of like a hidden gem. And, you know, real basketball fans appreciate what this finals will be.
Amen.
Casual fans pissed.
Exactly. Everybody that wanted Celtics Lakers, which I mean would not have been a bad finals. Don't get me wrong. But, you know.
I don't know. I just hate watching those teams play basketball. I really do.
Thinking about, I don't know if you hate watching the Celtics more than Celtics fans.
Yeah, that's true.
They're miserable.
Like a maddening experience.
Yeah,
they're miserable.
But thinking about this finals, it kind of reminds me in a way of the Phoenix Milwaukee finals.
Yeah,
because,
I like that.
Which I'm more than a little. I'm a Miami fan.
Yes.
So you know, all out, I want Miami to win. But you know, going into the Phoenix Milwaukee finals, I really wanted Chris Paul to get one. And then
I was the other way.
The further I got into it, I thought, you know,
screw him.
It wouldn't be that bad if Giannis got one.
Yeah.
So I kind of got to a special place as a basketball fan where you can, you know, I've seen
appreciate both sides.
I've seen a lot of people say this is a stress-free finals for a lot of people.
It is.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is. And that was kind of that way for me because I finally got to the point I was like, I don't care who wins, like because I'll be happy either way.
Yeah.
Now, like I say, I do want Miami to win, but I'll respect and appreciate Jokic and all of the guys on the Nuggets. There's nobody I despise. Like on Boston, Grant Williams and Derek White. You know, I posted something the other day where people said something like, I would rather LeBron lose than myself succeed.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's almost how I feel about Grant Williams and Derek White.
Yeah,
especially Grant Williams. But
that's how I felt about Chris Paul and Devin Booker.
Yeah, okay.
I want nothing for them to ever be positive in life.
But yeah, man, I think you know
that's a good comparison.
It's an underrated finals for that reason to me.
Comparing it to Giannis getting his first or CP3 finally getting one, like it's a good comparison because you got. Basically, a guy that's could be a cult hero eventually in Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
you know,
and if Jimmy finishes this off, is this one of the greatest runs you've ever seen from a superstar? I guess you could call him.
Yeah, because his other superstar besides Bam, because I don't look at Bam as a superstar.
I mean, Bam's a great player.
He's a good player.
It's been disappointing.
Yeah, I think he's overrated. That's just me. I don't think he has a true offensive game.
Yeah,
I don't think he really does.
But he's a good player. He's not one that's going to carry the load on offense.
He's Dwight Howard.
Yeah, but Dwight could put up 25.
Well, yeah, because he was bigger than everybody. But he's built just like him too. You look at him, same shaped head. It's weird.
Well, I look at him as like the.
It's really weird if you think about it.
He's just that defensive anchor, kind of like a Jaren Jackson.
So does he get the Nikola Jokic assignment?
Got to.
How tall is Bam?
That's going to be interesting.
Bam's 6'10", maybe?
I was about 6'9" felt right for me. I didn't know if that was just me being wrong.
6'9", 255.
Yeah.
I think Miami has two options. I think
Udonis Haslem.
Yes.
And
well, I did see somebody comment and say,
tell Haslem go punch him real quick or something.
For the betterment of the team, for Udonis to like physically harm Jokic. The comment actually said murder, but but I think they've got two options. I think either let Bam have him pretty much one-on-one as much as possible, or you know, kind of make the play that the Lakers did to let who did the Lakers have? Jerry Vanderbilt,
or was it Rui?
Rui.
Was it Rui?
Yeah, Rui. That way,
end of like game one,
AD could roam. You know, in the back. I think that's your two options. But the scary thing about that is your other options to put on him are Kevin Love and
Cody Zeller.
Yeah. And
K-Love probably won't get much run in this series.
Not a good sign.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Why no K-Love?
I just think he's going to get played off the floor, kind of.
I think he's played off the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. He got more and more. I mean, less and less run as the series went on. It felt like. I mean, did he still start?
No, they made the change from K-Love to Caleb Martin.
Yeah.
I think
okay.
6 maybe.
Yeah, the last two games he didn't even play.
Yep.
Played 5 minutes in game 3, and then
that was after
12,
a good
14.
Knicks series too.
Yeah,
was it the Knicks he had a good series against, or was Milwaukee?
Milwaukee had a 15-12 game,
that what it
18-8. I mean, the Knicks, he wasn't bad either. I mean, he started most of those games, I believe. But, yeah, I guess maybe just little too long of playing for him. The legs are starting to tire out a little bit. It is interesting, though, every time he's made the playoffs, he's made the finals.
That's
and
according to Jordan fans, he's like GOAT status right
hey,
now.
that's true. That's true. That's true. And
But he ain't won them all, man. He's got to win every one of them.
True.
it is crazy to think back to
argument.
whenever he got cut and he chose Miami and people laughed at him.
Sure did.
Like, why not go to Boston? Why not go to the Warriors? And I was wanting him to the Warriors, something like that. Someone that seemed like more of a contender, and he goes to this team that ended up being a play-in team, and look at him now. And he's contributed. He's not a big part, obviously. He's not what he used to be, but I'm sure that veteran presence still helps out a lot.
That's an important piece. And those few minutes that he has played have been important minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
For a team, you think a team of not only a ton of undrafted guys, but a ton of guys with zero playoff experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, and some of them had a little run last year. You know, with that team going to the 2-game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, still, that's and you've got they've got a great veteran group. I mean, you got Jimmy Butler, you've got Kyle Lowry, Kevin Love, Udonis. I mean, that's a good group.
Lowry's
of guys
playing good too.
Yep, he's picked it up. The deeper into the playoffs we've gotten,
Mm-hmm.
the better he has played.
And I don't mind him. He's
Was,
easy to root for.
Was Bam on the bubble team? Or was
Yeah,
it the
yes, he got
he got his
hurt,
rookie year?
right?
He got the block on Jason Tatum.
Yes, yeah.
At the end of that game.
So that must have been his rookie year then.
Nah.
Or second year.
Second year, maybe.
How old is he?
He's on a new contract. 2017. Holy crap! I didn't know it was that long.
Jeez. I was still in college.
I was thinking like 19.
Yeah.
Didn't he get hurt though? I think him and Goran Dragic both got hurt.
There was one year that was
Yeah.
That's a name I ain't
He
heard in
missed
forever.
Game
Goran
two,
Dragic.
game 2 and game 3 he missed. Bam did in the finals. So a little bit of a redemption story for him. Yeah, I mean Bam's a good player. He is. But also on the Heat, you've got one of the craziest stories I can remember in the NBA recently, Caleb Martin. He got cut from the Hornets after going undrafted, which, I mean, if you get cut from the Hornets, it just seems like you're out of the NBA.
You would think. How they were this year, at least.
Yeah. He goes up to North Carolina, hometown, and works out with J. Cole. And then J. Cole makes some calls to Miami, Caron Butler, and now Caleb Martin, was it 3 or 4 years later, 3-year, $20 million deal. And
looking at a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
Absolute Heat hero and legend. Like, will never be forgotten regardless of what the outcome of the finals is. Should have been Eastern Conference Finals MVP, I felt.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, but I feel like in that collapse,
Yeah.
what it was, collapse at the Heat. Well, maybe it wasn't a collapse. Maybe it was just Boston playing to their potential for a few games.
Yeah.
But I think in all of that, the first couple games of Jimmy Butler got lost.
Yeah.
And he had a
Yeah,
was
Butler
so
was
long
incredible
ago.
them first
Right.
two games.
So long
Right.
ago.
Like I said, that was like a lifetime.
Yeah, it
You
really
know,
was.
So, I mean, the whole Grant Williams thing, like I feel like that was a completely different playoff run,
Mm-hmm.
you know, by the time the series ended. So I see.
Yeah, I mean, Butler was 35-7-5 first game, 27-6-8, 16-6-8, 29-9-5. And I mean, still at the end when we said he was doing bad, 24-11-8.
Right.
And if you're being honest, Martin will get them shots that he gets without Jimmy being on the floor
Because of-
anyway.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know, because people got to have Jimmy as priority number one. You know,
Let me ask y'all this: if I were to tell you that a Miami Heat player got Finals MVP and it was not Jimmy Butler, do you think it would be Bam Adebayo or Caleb Martin?
I mean,
can Caleb do this again?
it's hard to believe that Martin does it again. And I think if the Heat win, it would require something big out of Bam regarding the matchup with Jokic. And there's no stopping Jokic, literally. I mean, he's probably going to average a triple-double, but he hold the man under 20. Like let him have let him have 20, 10, and 10.
That's a lot. That's asking a lot.
Yeah, let him have 20, 10, and 10.
And that's on like
it's a bad
70%
game.
shooting.
Yeah. But I think if you see it's almost like Iggy in 2015. he didn't. I mean, LeBron averaged like 35, but he was holding LeBron.
Right.
Like, I think if Bam does something like that, and I mean, if he averages what's he averaging now? 16, 9, and 4 with a block and a steal. If he does something like that, maybe boost it up a little bit, you could see him take it. But
And it would require Jimmy not being himmy, you know.
Right.
Yeah. It'd require it being a more even distribution of points.
Yeah.
Kind of like you're talking about with Iggy. That's a good thought right there. He got the Finals MVP because he controlled LeBron or whatever.
Yeah.
But also
win a Finals MVP for that same reason.
Yeah, like whenever he was
At
young
the end
with
of the
San
Spurs,
Antonio.
yeah.
That's a crazy thought to think about on LeBron's side of
Yeah.
Yes.
You're giving out Finals MVPs for slowing somebody.
And
for holding someone to
exactly.
38 and 8.
But also because nobody on the Warriors really just stood out too.
Yeah,
And I can see that
yeah,
happening.
Steph averaged
with how the Heat
23,
play.
I think, in 2015.
I can see that happen with how the Heat play. And if we're being honest, Jokic is kind of on that LeBron type run that he was on back then, where nobody is stopping him at all. You know,
I think the argument against Caleb Martin possibly doing, you think, what if they just replicate the Boston series where Jimmy and Bam kind of underperformed a little bit, especially Bam, and Caleb was just supernova. But on the other hand, I think Miami doesn't beat Denver with them playing subpar.
Yeah.
They have to have an A+.
Denver's just
from everybody.
Denver's just a stronger team in my opinion. I never bought into this Boston team this year. I never did. All throughout the year I said
from day one.
I've always
because you don't believe in Jason Tatum.
Yeah, I don't think Tatum's a 1. I really don't. I think he's
and by God, this playoff run he didn't look like one at all.
Even though I think he's leading the NBA in points in the playoffs, but it just doesn't.
It's garbage time points. He had 50 something in like a 40-point
Well,
win.
it's either garbage time or it's absolutely nothing in that garbage time. I mean, he's had multiple games where he just straight up don't score in the fourth, and that's something I don't know. There's something about him. I don't think he's that.
To want to be
guy.
Kobe as bad as he wants to be Kobe, he can't even hold Kobe's shoelace, let alone his jock. You know, he ain't nowhere near Kobe.
2015 Finals though, Steph was 26, 5, and 6 with 2 steals a game. Yeah, and then Iggy was
good enough.
Iggy was the second leading scorer, 16, 6, and 4 with a block. I mean, with a steal per game.
He needed that Finals MVP last year so bad for his legacy.
Yeah. Steph should have got that, but he had a bad game.
The closeout game, wasn't it?
No. I think the closeout he was fine, but
is that the year LeBron should have gotten Finals MVP?
Yeah. LeBron. Look, here we go. LeBron, which got held by Iggy, 36, 13, 9, 1.5 block. Which he did shoot under 40% from the field. That's crazy. So I guess
but
that might be what Iggy held.
Wasn't there a stat like Iggy controlled him though?
Maybe.
Like when guarded by Iggy, it was this. I think that was probably that.
Yeah, it's
Was
still
that the Dellavedova run as well?
Yeah, Delly was on that team. Which the next year was when Delly,
the famous Delly run.
Yeah, whenever he
that was the next year
locked
when they won
down
it.
Steph. Yeah.
Okay. Where's he at now? Is he in Sacramento?
Mm-hmm. Sitting on the bench. He was hurt. Yeah, but
like he said, sitting on the bench.
Yeah, he was.
Still got a chip on your shoulder from that season.
Screw him. Other people on the Heat though, Gabe Vincent still feels like an unsung hero. I mean, even with he's playing really well, 13 points a game. Just a solid player, he really is. And I mean, I don't think there's 20% of casual NBA fans probably can name his college or even who he is.
I could pick him out of a lineup right now.
But I'll tell you what, he looks like all the other Heat players. Like he just looks like a guy that
same thing with Max Strus. Max Strus is like semi-mixed looking, right?
Yeah,
Max Strus is a very.
He kind of looks like Fred Van Vliet.
Yeah,
looks kind of like
look at Strus. Look at Gabe Vincent. They all look like Heat role players.
He looks like Caleb Martin. He looks like Caleb Martin.
Caleb Martin. Yeah.
That's what he looks like. Strus is white.
I mean, I thought he was white.
Maybe.
He don't look like that right now. He ain't got that long of hair, does he?
He went to DePaul. He probably is.
He's white. It's a Catholic school thing, ain't it?
But yeah, I mean, that's just it's so crazy seeing Miami do that.
He's Tyler Hero 2.0.
And Haywood Highsmith, another random guy no one knows of.
Never heard of him.
Went to Wheeling Jesuit.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's West Virginia, ain't it?
Yeah, and then you got. I mean, he played really well. Yeah, 15 points in Game 5.
Did he play in Game 6? I think they win Game 6 if he plays.
Yeah, he didn't play.
Yeah,
36 minutes in Game 5. My God.
He made some big defense. I mean, he made a couple big defensive plays in Game 7.
Yeah.
I know
And
he had,
Vincent
he had
did,
like a pick 6.
Did Vincent miss Game 6?
Oh yeah,
missed Game 5. Game 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Vincent.
A lot of injury problems for Miami this postseason, huh? I just saw Oladipo played.
Yeah, he tore something in the first round.
Yeah.
Did he play it all this season?
Yeah, he played towards the back end some.
Because I remember he got hurt last year too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I want to say it's the
42 games this year.
Maybe the other knee.
It's something. He's not coming back.
I said that's probably it for him then.
I mean, he's still 31 somehow, but patellar
his game though,
patellar tendon.
He ain't a shooter, so he can't really last.
He got hurt Game 3. Yeah, Game 3 against the Bucks. And yeah, they're still here without him and without Hero. That's
and without
crazy.
Kyle Lowry being a starter, really.
Yeah, but Lowry was really good. Duncan Robinson came out of nowhere. One of the worst contracts in the NBA.
Since Timothy
pretty much
Mozgov.
was just straight up unplayable in the playoffs for the past, pretty much since the bubble, past 2 years. Something impressive about him. It seems like he really tries defensively.
Right.
Like he's not a good defender straight up. Like, and Chance, you laughed at me the other night because I said, what did I say? Something about his defense. I said he just straight up sucks defensively.
Yeah.
I said he's Jordan Poole, but he's taller. And
like he just literally cannot guard anybody.
Yeah, he can't. But he tries, and that's something that. I mean, it's probably just part of that Heat culture. Jimmy Butler probably just tells him, if you don't try, I'm going to kill your family or something. So he's out there shooting lights out like he always does. Shot 48% from 3 against the Celtics.
I think one thing that has been very big for the Heat, especially in this past series against the Celtics, is Duncan Robinson's willingness to cut to the basket.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's made some good, very good reads on some backdoor cuts, whether he's laying the ball up or kicking it out, or throwing the alley to Bam or whatever it is.
Yeah,
that really opens things up for them.
I didn't know he had layups in his game.
I didn't either.
I've
never seen him shoot.
He went up with 2 hands. He went with 2 hands for that layup. He didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah. I mean,
most unnatural layup I've ever seen in my life.
Definitely. The Duncan, he was really good for them. 22 points in Game 3, 5 for 7 from 3 that game. I mean, you know what he's going to give you, and it actually seems like he's giving you more now than ever. Like this, it feels like he's starting to get a role to where he don't have to be moved this offseason, something like that. They finally figured something out, and you can't do nothing but shout out Spoelstra for that. It's crazy.
It's like they have, like you said, like the guys, some of them look alike. It's like they have carbon copies of the same player.
Yes.
You know, and they all just fit perfectly
it's like,
together.
Yeah, like 6'2" to 6'5" guards.
Right.
Like they all can do a little. They can shoot a little bit, but they're not great at it. They're good
until the playoffs.
Yeah.
Then they're great.
They're all high IQ
the light
guys.
shine bright.
None of them are terrible at defense. Like they're all.
Besides Duncan.
Yeah,
who
he's different.
In his 276 career games, he has shot 250 layups.
Whoa.
So less than 1 a game attempted.
That's a white boy's dream.
Yes.
I'm gonna go look at JJ Redick just for comparison.
And Duncan, he can probably dunk, right?
I saw a TikTok the other day of JJ's only dunk in his NBA career.
I saw that. Yeah. Duncan, I mean, he's 6'7". The dude's got to be able to dunk, right?
Surely so. Man, you think like
come on now.
Even some of the top teams in the playoffs, if they had the injury troubles that Miami has had, people would play that up as like, oh, look what these guys are doing without these guys, whatever. Take away the fact that even the Heat with all their guys, I see they're the first team in 64 years to make the finals after having a negative point differential during the regular season. The last time a team did this, there were only 9 NBA teams, and 6 of them made the playoffs.
Oh, my God.
So, and that was the 56-57 St. Louis Hawks and 58-59 Minneapolis Lakers.
And
I mean, that's incredible.
I don't even know who the St. Louis Hawks is. I didn't know that existed.
Where did they move to?
I'm guessing that's the Atlanta franchise, but you never know. Yeah, I mean that stuff. It's so crazy. And literally no one expected them to be here. I mean, even you as a fan.
Oh yeah, man. You look at it.
It feels like a dream.
As a fan, yeah. So and the further you get into it, the more you buy into it, and the more you
heartbreak coming.
The more you really just start feeling like
we can do this.
These guys just got that dog in them.
Yeah.
You know, like I do not bet against Jimmy Butler regardless. You know, that's like even after Game 6, like I was heartbroken, and then I watch a few seconds of Spoelstra's press conference after the game. And I'm like, okay, like I'm ready. I'm ready to go suit up and play.
Yeah,
you know?
he said we're
They're
gonna win.
Have them ready,
and they booked the flight to Denver.
Yep.
That was so crazy. Booked a flight to Denver straight from Boston.
Which, I mean, I assume everybody does.
I was about to say, I'm
flight.
sure Boston did it too.
Well, the only reason they didn't is because they would have had home court advantage, and that's another thing.
That's true.
The Heat will, say hypothetically, the Heat pulled this off, they will win a championship without having home court advantage in any round, which is crazy.
And they'd be the only 8 seed ever, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
the 99. And that was in a 50.
They won it?
No, they lost to the Spurs. They lost to the Spurs, but that was was it a lockout season? It was a 50-game season. 50-something
Probably. I think there was a lockout around then.
The difference in that is they were like 6 games out of first.
Or
something like that. Like it was
one of them tight races.
Yeah, so I mean it wasn't
and that team was coached by Jeff Van Gundy, who's going to be calling these finals. And
that was probably before I'm sure they've expanded the playoffs since then.
I think it was back when it was 5 games in the first round.
Okay,
I think that's the only.
They had
difference.
8 teams in each side still
it's
back
still
then,
8,
probably.
Yeah, because they're an 8 seed that's made this.
That's true.
But
Idiot.
It was before. It was before they made it 7 for all rounds. So a little bit of a difference.
Side note, Van Gundy is an elite color commentary guy.
You think?
I think so. He's one of my favorites. And
I don't think he likes basketball.
I like him. He complains about
You talking about skinny or fat Gundy?
Jeff, the skinny.
Jeff, I don't like Jeff.
I think Stan's good.
I like Stan.
I like Stan more.
Stan's more fun.
I hate Reggie Miller.
Yeah. Chris Webber was awful. I'm glad he's gone.
Reggie Miller is in that same lane as Chris Webber, just not quite as bad.
Yeah.
And I don't mind Mark Jackson.
I like Mark.
He's fine. But Mike Breen's obviously the GOAT.
The GOAT. Absolute GOAT. That makes a huge difference to me as a consumer of the NBA product. It is the commentary.
Did you see the stuff that Van Gundy said today about the rule changes he would have for the league?
About the fouls?
Yeah. that shooting foul. He said shooting fouls should just be awarded a basket, and that free throws should not happen until the final 4 minutes of a game.
To speed it up.
Yeah. And that halftime should only be 5 minutes.
Why?
Because he's insane.
To test the mental and physical endurance
do you know,
of the players?
Do you know the crap that would happen if the Lakers could just drive to the lane and a foul and they get 2 points? LeBron would average 40.
You would have to revert back to the 90s way of calling the game.
Yeah. You'd have to be able to hit somebody.
Yeah. There would have to be some type of physical blow to somebody's face.
Imagine a 5-point game with under a minute. LeBron drives to the hole. He's getting 2 points. Yeah. Even if he could throw that thing to the shot clock, he's getting 2 points.
I mean, it would lower the number of 3-point shots taken by a mile.
Maybe
it would increase flopping,
but then
it would increase everything that Jeff hates.
You'd see some more flailing on them threes, trying to get that automatic 3.
Everybody's jump shot would look like they're doing a jumping.
There would be no 3-point foul calls ever.
No,
because no one would want to be given a straight up 3.
The analytics would all of a sudden be it is better to let somebody shoot a wide open 3 than even risk the foul.
Honestly,
yes,
yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, it'll never happen, but he's an idiot.
I'm sure that was probably not a real thought of his.
Never doubt that man. Never doubt him. He hates fouls and flops more than anything on earth.
I know he said that they should get rid of reviews altogether except for end-of-quarter shots and 2s versus 3s foot on the line. I completely disagree with that.
I don't like the challenges.
I think they should get another challenge if they're successful with their first
one. I think so.
Oh, they don't get one? Oh, they sure don't, because I asked you about that.
They keep their timeout, but they don't get another challenge. And, to me, especially in that Heat Celtics series, there were multiple times when I thought, man, I wish Spo had it.
Yeah, and you never – there's almost never a situation in the first half that you want to challenge something.
Right.
I feel like you should maybe not give them if you like get it and you get it back. Maybe just give them one for each half.
Yeah.
Like because there's some big plays like I think one of them was Bam picking up his third foul right before half. That's something you want to challenge.
Either whether and I think either in game 6 they challenged, and the kind of the plan was, or the hope was that not only who got the foul, was it Kyle Lowry? Somebody got a foul.
Yeah.
And the hope was to not only get that rescinded, but to actually give Jaylen Brown his
that was a Jaylen Brown one.
Offensive foul.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot. I like the coach's challenge. I think it's an interesting part.
It is stupid that if you challenge and it's overturned, like you lose your challenge for the ref not doing his job correctly.
Right. You punish.
Like and in the NFL, do you get one or two?
You can get up to 3.
Okay, but you
get the
them,
first 2 right. You
it's
get the
baseball. If you get it right, it comes back.
Correct.
That's it. Okay. So I don't know why you should be punished for correcting the ref.
Something weird to me is that there's only challenges and they don't review stuff like that. They don't review, like the official can't be like, okay, I really couldn't tell who the foul was on. Let me go review it.
Right.
I mean, why not incorporate that as well? If you're trying to correct the game or get every call correct, then you would have that involved too, because you have that in baseball, you have that in football.
Yeah.
So why is that not a part of it? You know?
Yeah,
I don't
either do it or don't.
Expand just straight up.
I think every out of bounds. This is weird to me. I think every out of bounds that the ref just doesn't know should be reviewed. That's important. I don't care if it's in the first or second quarter. That's really important.
Technology, you can have all that stuff.
Like soccer, the VAR stuff, it can be done snap of a finger.
The tennis.
And the tennis thing.
Where the ball barely touches the white line.
Yeah.
Even with the reviews, especially in the NBA, with the replay center, they could have people that's their job.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they do have people there.
Yeah.
Before the ref could get over to the
exactly,
monitor,
especially in the playoffs where there's no other game. Like have the headquarters in Secaucus, New Jersey. They always go to them.
Secaucus,
yeah. Just
that old white dude.
Them,
Steve Javie,
absolutely,
yes,
or Monty McCutcheon.
Yeah. Like let them be the fifth ref. Like just let them be there
and have somebody sitting at
official.
Yeah, have somebody sitting at the scores table.
Yeah, and buzz in and say, "Hey, that's wrong."
Like he stands up and it's like freaking football. He points this way.
Yeah, do something.
Points that way.
Do something.
You
know? But yeah, and if you want to change a rule, do something about charges. I hate charges. It's so stupid.
And an interesting thing with the challenges is, I think Boston won Game 6 because they decided that they had a challenge that they might as well use.
Yeah.
They challenged that at the end. They knew that Horford fouled him.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knew it was a foul, but that ended up giving them that 0.9 or
they changed it from 2.1 to 3.0.
So that made a huge
and it made it
what they were challenging.
And it made it from a 2 to a 3.
Yeah.
It also did, it almost screwed them.
They were going to review that anyway.
It almost screwed them by giving them an extra free throw, but then it also gave them that 0.1 that they needed on the other end at the end. So yeah, that was a very crazy situation there.
It just shows you that they're not 100% sure, like with what they're doing. They don't really know yet. They're probably still on the trial and error run of it.
Yeah,
I'm sure there'll be probably changes this summer,
probably
to it after the finals are done. Because that's what always happened, like with baseball and football too.
Yeah,
they tried something, they added to it, like with the pass interference thing after the Saints debacle. Then they took it away, put something else new.
Yeah, they're always changing the rules in the NFL.
Yeah.
How long can you be an underdog and succeed until you're not an underdog anymore?
They got that 8 attached to them. They got to be an underdog, in my opinion.
And last year they were the 1, right?
Right. The interesting thing to me about this series is I think it's a true underdog and a fake underdog. Michael Malone has complained the entire playoffs about the Nuggets not getting respect.
Oh, that's true.
They don't, because I don't really respect them.
Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
But
where was he at before Minnesota?
He's the
Denver.
He's the 4th longest tenured coach in the NBA right
now.
I know that. So he's been there a while.
Was he in Charlotte?
He was. I know that he
was Clifford.
He was in Cleveland.
Clifford's
when
still
LeBron was there as an assistant.
Is that what it was?
I know that for sure.
I feel like he had a job somewhere, I thought.
Kings.
There you go.
A year with the Kings.
2013-14 with the Kings. Warriors assistant, really.
He's been there for almost 10 years. I didn't know that. So he must have took over for George Karl.
Yeah.
Whenever he made some racist comments. Probably both times, honestly.
Several Warriors, including Draymond and Steph, credited Malone being a huge part of the team's success. Never knew that.
Oh, good for him. All right, so Clay's a Nuggets fan now.
I mean, I was already rooting for him a little bit. I love Jamal Murray. I love him. So, 2015, though, that's the same year Kerr came in.
And Jokic is fun to watch because I think I can move about as fast as he does.
Yeah.
And it gives me like a false sense of like belief in myself that I could be doing that.
But at the same time, the dude runs a fast break at an elite level.
He's a point forward sometimes. It's weird.
And like he'll get a rebound and beat everybody down the floor.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
He looks physically exhausted when he's done.
Yeah.
He ain't in shape.
He's at altitude.
Yeah.
It's like how you go from LeBron being the face of the league to kind of phases into Steph Curry having his era, and it's like, oh well, all these undersized guards, normal sized kids that are not freak athletes have this guy to look at, and now all of us approaching 30-year-old white men that are out of shape have Jokic to look at. It was I've still got a chance.
I could play Jokic's game. I think. I could shoot a ball from behind my head.
Yeah, have you seen there? It looks like he's playing in flip flops.
Yeah,
he does.
Yeah,
he does. It's like a backpack for Draymond Green.
Yes. Draymond still shoots like that. It's crazy.
With a backpack.
Let's move on to the Nuggets, though. So, obviously,
Nikola
Jokic, two-time MVP.
Best player in the NBA right now.
Possibly should have been
past 3
three-time. Something that's interesting to me about this is that in the regular season, the debate of Jokic and Embiid was that no one really wanted to give Jokic that third straight MVP.
And people thought he stat padded too.
Because they said that having 3 straight MVPs like cements you as an all-time great. Right. Now, if he goes out here, gets a Finals MVP, and wins a championship with
triple doubles,
and honestly might not, he might can do this without getting to a Game 7.
Yeah,
and a pretty dominant run, averaging 30, 10, and 10. Like if he does that, he's cementing himself as one of them all-time greats.
Look back at Giannis's run.
Yes,
two straight MVPs, did not get a third, and won the title.
Yep,
that year.
Exactly the same. And after that run, people were like, Giannis is one of the best 50 players to ever play the game. Right. And I think we're going to see a similar talk with Jokic if he does this.
The NBA is so weird with the MVP award too, in my opinion. It's basically like they've got it mapped out for the next 5 or 6 years. Who's going to win it? Like when Russell Westbrook finally won his. It was like, okay, well, it's his turn now. And has James Harden won one?
Yeah, he won.
He won one the next year.
Yeah.
And then Giannis got his. Then Jokic won a couple. And they're like, okay,
we know Luka's getting
now.
One in the next 2.
Luka's probably scripted to get it next year.
Yeah. How long until Wemby gets one?
Oh, Zach Edey's going back to Purdue.
Oh, is he really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wemby's going to get one.
Ever since LeBron.
You think he's going to be good?
Yeah.
I think he will be.
I think it's going to take some time.
Injury,
I think it'll take more time than people think.
I think the thing that Wemby has going for him against all the other prospects is the same thing that Luka had going for him coming into the league.
Yeah.
So much experience against other professional players.
Yeah.
That
been playing grown men.
That is not something that you can replicate anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's not like them old days where you would draft these foreigners and be like, okay, they'll be over in a couple years. Right. These guys are actually prepared, like you said.
And you didn't know how raw they were going to be coming in.
Right.
Yeah, like was it Ricky Rubio was the first one that people were like, okay, yeah, like he can actually come over here and play immediately,
like Darko, like back then.
Yeah,
and that's one of the aspects of being raw and not doing much.
Every 76ers first round draft pick for like a decade. They were always like, we've drafted the rights to this person. Yeah,
there was a correction, I think, like after Milicic and. To where they got away from these guys. Mm-hmm. And then when Luka, and now it's like a correction the other way.
Yeah.
Now, and of course, social media and scouting has gotten, the game is so much more worldwide, that plays a big part in it. As far as the MVP thing, ever since LeBron didn't win like 8 straight, I lost faith in it.
Well, and then
he's the most valuable player. They do that.
And then the Steph got his 2, and then KD comes and it was like essentially Katie and Steph were just ruled out.
Right.
Because you couldn't have both of them on the same team and one be it. So, like, you knew going into that year, one of them's not winning.
They got punished for Durant's decision just like LeBron got punished for his decision.
Yeah.
Something with Wembanyama people ain't talking about is you need to watch for his feet.
Yeah,
I mean big guys with feet, for sure.
Big, skinny guys with them feet.
He does a ton of crazy, like, foot exercises. Like, they're
Really?
very like his camp is very in tune with that fact. They've done
because it's inevitable. It's
they've
inevitable.
Done a lot of work with him.
Yeah, I'm sure him coming up like for a while now. I mean, we've known about him for at least 2 or 3 years. Whenever Lofton played against
Kenneth
him.
Lofton.
Mm-hmm. So they've probably been focused in on making sure that's something that's built up.
Then why couldn't Chet Holmgren prevent it? Everybody knew Chet was going to be a top 10 pick, top 5 pick.
But
they're built similarly.
I think the people overseas have known that Wembanyama was going to be this guy for
longer than we've known.
Yeah, like for a long time.
And Chet still played high school stuff. Like, there's only so much you can do at that level.
That's the difference in having and the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I remember filming Chet when he was playing with Jalen Suggs on Sizzle.
Yeah.
And I mean, he didn't impress me then, but
I think Papa blocked him, didn't he?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I think I remember seeing a picture of that.
But yeah, man, that just speaks to, you know, the people in his camp that are forward thinking enough to, you know, he's out before games barefoot, you know, doing these drills and exercises and stretches and all this stuff, trying to strengthen his feet. You know, that I think that's the key. He may have unlocked something before he even touches the league that LeBron has unlocked. You know, just how important taking care of your body and all of that stuff is. So.
And going to the Spurs, that's going to be an organization that's going to take care of you.
It's perfect.
And I'd never even thought about the French connections until the lottery with Boris Diaw, Tony Parker, stuff like that. So it's literally, it's almost too perfect. Like, you have no doubt.
Scripted.
Yeah, you have no doubt that it's going to work now.
Yeah, like you had
go
that
to Detroit.
Yes,
you're like,
you had it. I was like, oh crap, he's gonna have to be big and bad immediately. Pop ain't gonna rush this kid.
No.
Pop's gonna keep coaching now for probably 10 more years until he dies on the sideline.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, why wouldn't he? He got Wemby, and then I guess he'll call up Becky Hammond, and she'll come back to the NBA and coach them probably.
You saw she got suspended. Have you seen that whole story?
She's
with the Aces?
become like very outspoken.
Well,
since
she's
pissed at herself.
Let me get this buyout.
She said, what was it? She like.
No, I'll just let y'all keep it. I'll just leave.
She like told a pregnant girl like play through it or something like that.
Like why don't you care about your career? You're over getting pregnant. Yeah,
it was crazy. So yeah, looking at the Nuggets, we talked about who's getting the Jokic matchup or who's going to guard Jokic from the Heat.
Who's guarding control
Jimmy?
Jokic?
I think it's going to be
Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon.
It's going to be Aaron Gordon. I think
resurgence for his career.
Gordon's so good, dude.
I could see Bruce Brown getting put on him a little bit.
I love Bruce Brown.
Maybe even MPJ here and there, but I think Gordon will be his primary defender.
I love Bruce Brown. He's such a good. That's the perfect guy you want off the bench.
What other was he on the Nets?
Nets.
I remember he had such a good run then, and he was like going crazy getting rebounds.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I mean, he's a legit player, and he's not there for very expensive at all. But yeah, Aaron Gordon, I think he does get the Butler matchup. Is he a little too big and maybe not quick enough to handle some of the stuff Jimmy does?
He's
we'll
still
see.
a freak.
Yeah, I mean, he's still an athlete, but
I mean, he's 6'8".
He's got a little weight on him now. He's got a little weight on him though.
Like Jimmy ain't one of them guys that I don't think can just like drive by somebody. You know?
Yeah, but if he wants to, he can. He'll just drive into you and put his body there.
The key to the series will be, does Denver fall for the pump fakes? And then the other key to the series will be, once they stop falling for it, will Jimmy stop pump faking like an idiot? Because that's what happened with Boston. You know, he would drive and pump fake, and he would get them every time until he didn't.
Yeah.
And then he would drive and pump fake 3 or 4 times, and then it was then he'd screw
has
himself
to kick
up
it out or something.
You know, so I mean, and then you see in Game 7, there was a lot he would drive and just immediately go up and shoot a floater or a jump shot or whatever. You know, so I mean, I think that was a big thing. So I think one thing that the Heat do, man, and especially as a as a basketball player, one of the worst things that you can do is get caught in the middle.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they did to Boston. I think they had a lot of plays where Boston players didn't know, do I shoot this? Do I drive? Do I, whatever. They were indecisive. And Miami's defense is so locked in, especially the zone. They play more zone than any team in 19 seasons.
Yeah.
And
zone's something that gets shunned upon, honestly, in the NBA.
Right.
Like teams look at that as something you just straight up don't do.
Spoelstra used to run one of them back in the day.
Yeah.
That's the first time I'd heard about it.
The Warriors go to it sometimes.
I think
Nick Nurse did it too.
This is back like when LeBron was down there.
Yeah.
And people were making fun of it. Yeah.
Like
Nick Nurse did a boxing
and I was
one
thinking,
with
if it's elementary or high school defense, then freaking beat it. You've been seeing it for 15 years. I never understood why people mocked that.
Yeah, it's like an unwritten rule to not do it almost.
And
it's so weird.
Part of the thing against it is, a big part of why people don't do it is that it's supposedly so easy to beat. You make a couple make that extra pass, you got a wide open three.
Yeah. Well, it's not our fault y'all ain't got shooters.
Boston couldn't crack it.
Yeah.
It's not our fault, Who shoots more threes, MPJ or Caleb Martin?
MPJ shoots some threes, man.
Yeah.
Who makes more?
So looking at the stats for points per game, Heat have 9 people that average 7 or more, not including Oladipo. The Nuggets have 6 guys average over 4. So that the depth questions are very different there.
But the Nuggets have been off for over a week, so they're going to be well rested. And they're going to be fine.
But
at what point is that you get diminishing returns on that?
Yeah. I mean, when is
it's
Bruce
for 12
Brown
wins so far?
Is Bruce Brown going to keep putting up 12 a game?
I would have liked the Heat to sweep the Celtics, but I would have liked the Heat to close it out in 6 to get that extra couple days. But
that one more travel up north.
The one thing that you hold on to is we're still, but.
Yeah, rest over rust. Which one is going to win? Because the Nuggets have been off since
debate every year.
The Nuggets have been off
It's been a week,
7 or 8 days now, probably.
Ultimately, it won't matter either way.
Yeah,
never does.
They're gonna play,
and I think that's something to look at tomorrow night, Thursday. Is that do the Heat come out kind of on fire and just kind of physically attack the Nuggets early on? Because the Nuggets are going to have a little bit of a learning period, I guess, to get back into the groove of everything.
They've Miami's won game 1 on the road every series so far. So
I think if there's a game for the Heat to steal early on, it's game 1, because then game 2, that's another game. You're in that altitude a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Like you're going to feel the effects.
On you at the same time. So
yeah, if you go down 0-2, it looks a little grim.
Did you see Spo's comments on the altitude?
Yeah, he said we'll play at Everest.
Play on Everest. They want to tip it off in Everest, and then he said we'll just cut the air conditioner off in Miami.
That dude loves some quotes,
they've done it,
man.
Who was
San
it?
Antonio?
San Antonio
did it to him.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But then you got Jamal Murray. Who gets that matchup?
Whoever's playing point guard, you would imagine.
Gabe Vincent.
Yeah,
I hate to stereotype Max Strus, but there's no way in heck he could play defense.
I see Max Strus on MPJ. I would have to imagine.
Or do you
stand him in the corner?
Put Jimmy on Jamal, or do you let Jimmy kind of get a little bit of breather on defense?
I think they probably do it by committee. It is one of the balancing acts where, and that's the good thing about having so many guys that can contribute. Is Jimmy not having to say, well, I can't play defense because I got to play offense, or vice versa. So when Jimmy is having games that are as bad to his standard as 5 and 6, and they weren't in it in 5, but in 6 they were in it to the very end. That's a big value because you've got these other guys contributing enough to where they kind of offset some of that stuff.
Yeah, and something that. Whenever there's a just straight up star that feels like he's a little head and shoulders above the rest of his team, there's always the mindset of let him get his and focus on everybody else.
Control the role.
With
players.
Jokic, I don't think you can do that. If you let him get his, he's gonna get 10 assists, and that's gonna get the other people involved.
That's another thing, man, about that zone. I don't know.
He'll pick that
It
apart.
won't be as successful against Denver because
They move the ball.
They
Move
got
it.
Al Horford coming up to the free throw line in the Celtics series, and then should have been fairly easy for Al.
Yeah.
I think if they would have run more Al Horford and Robert Williams lineups, especially against that zone, because you're gonna have Bam coming up to the free throw line. I mean, you got Al should have been able to shoot that free throw line jumper. If Bam comes up,
that's something. Yeah, that's something Al just don't want to do anymore.
Right.
Al wants to shoot a 3 or nothing else.
Right. So,
but Jokic, give him that
Jokic
mid range all day. He'll take it, or he'll float it up there somehow.
All you got to do is inbound it, or not inbound, but do an entry pass to the free throw line, then that guy makes the decision.
Yeah.
If they crash onto him, you find whoever's open.
And who's always at that free throw line making the decisions? Jokic.
And that's
best
why
in the NBA yet.
That's why I don't see them running that zone. They can't.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Can't do it.
But then if you go man to man, Jokic can pick you apart. Yeah, I mean
that's why he's the best player on the court.
That's why he's like minus 300 to win the MVP. Like, I think the heaviest favorite ever to win the MVP
finals,
award. Yeah. And if I saw like you can bet the categories for like points, rebounds, assists to be the leader.
Leading all of them.
He's like minus 10,000 on each of them to be the leader in all those categories. It's crazy.
Yeah, the Finals MVP rankings, I guess you would say, betting odds: Jokic, Butler, Murray, Bam, Caleb Martin. BJ. So
Caleb Martin.
And
if you'd have told somebody a month ago,
right, exactly.
Caleb Martin, fifth for MVP.
I think 9 points per game during the season.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Averaging 19 during the playoffs.
19. You also got KCP down there, who just a solid shooter. Yeah, he was so good, and that's something that's kind of under the radar. Having those guys like Bruce Brown, KCP, Jeff Green, those are just guys that are championship-winning players. It's the pieces that you need to give you a little more depth. And I mean, the Heat have it, but not with the big names like those. Right. Everybody knows these names. No one knows Gabe Vincent.
I think it's similar in the way that, and watching them against the Lakers, it seemed like if the ball got inside, if it got kicked out, they were shooting like 96% from three on those kickouts. And that's how it feels watching the Heat.
Yeah.
So it's going to be two very similar teams stylistically when it comes to that.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be interesting.
I mean, KCP shooting 41 from three, MPJ shooting 40, Jamal's shooting 40. 40. Bruce Brown a little bit lower there, but that's not his game. Oh wow. I mean, the Nuggets. We'll see if that depth comes back to hurt them. You also have Christian Brown down there, rookie from Kansas, who plays well, but not someone you really want to rely upon, especially against Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler. They'll find ways to pick him apart, I'm sure, and get in his head. I think it's going to be a really fun series.
I noticed one thing on there. Jokic averages the most personal fouls per game for the team.
Yeah, 3.5.
If on the same hand you look at Miami having to go to K-Love and Zeller, I mean, who is their backup big?
DeAndre Jordan.
I like the odds on that one. And then you just got to keep Murray from going supernova. But
DeAndre Jordan.
One interesting thing, I tried as hard as I could to find all of the ESPN BPI.
Oh yeah,
all of the Heat series so far this year, and I could not find it. But I did find the betting odds, which is. A little bit. The betting odds are a little more accurate than the BPI.
Yeah,
clearly with 3%.
3%.
I saw on here it says since 1988 there have been 11 instances of an NBA team winning a series in which it was given a 20% chance or less of advancing, and 2 of those 11 are this year's Heat team. And it says the 2023 Miami Heat have 2 of the biggest upsets over the past 35 years. And the win over the Bucks was the 5th biggest upset in 35 years.
That's so crazy.
People thought the Bucks were going to cakewalk to the Eastern Conference
I thought
Finals.
it was a sweep easily. I really did.
If there's any team in the East that wanted one and the other one did not want that one, it's Miami and Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Milwaukee did not want Miami, but Miami wanted Milwaukee.
Yep. And it's I actually saw on my Facebook memories today something I'd shared about the Warriors. They were 20% chance to win the finals last year, which I don't think anyone truly felt that way. But Yeah, I mean the analytics sometimes are a little bit crazy.
Man, it's crazy looking at this list. Monty Williams and the Detroit Pistons have agreed in principle on a 6-year, $72
Oh, it just happened?
Yeah.
$72 million.
Holy crap! 6
So
years.
That's 12. That's
6
12
years,
per.
72.
12 per.
Oh,
Looking at this list of the biggest upsets.
I gotta look up the most expensive coaches now. I gotta know where that's at.
Over the past 35 years, number 1 is the 94 Nuggets, which was an 8 seed first round matchup. They had a 6.7% win chance. Number 2 is the We Believe Warriors.
there you go.
They
Yeah.
had a 7.7% chance. Let's see. Number 3 is the 8 seed 2012 Sixers. I don't know who they played.
8 seed 2012.
Yep.
That's Drew Holiday's team.
Could have been. Would that have been like Chicago or Atlanta? Maybe.
I think it might have been Chicago.
Oh, they had a 10%.
Did D Rose get hurt in that series or something?
And see, the most interesting thing about this list to me is number 4, which they already said Miami's number 5. They had an 11.7% chance of beating the Bucks.
Yeah.
Number 4 is the Nuggets from the bubble. Number 3, Denver Nuggets in the second round.
Against the Clippers?
10.5% chance. It's got to be the 3-1 lead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was.
I mean,
Pandemic P. Paul
should
George.
be before the series started, So, I mean, I can't believe that they had a 10%, betting odds chance of winning.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in the bubble with no Kawhi, right? I think the Clippers didn't have Kawhi.
I would assume they didn't have
I'm pretty sure it was Paul George and
Did he go out during that series? Maybe?
He probably had COVID.
I mean, they blew a 3-1 lead.
I think he just didn't straight up didn't play.
I mean,
Looks like Monty's going to be the highest paid head coach though. This list has Pop at 11.5 at number 1. Steve Kerr at 9.5 at 2.
Where's
and
Spo at?
Spo at 4, 8.5.
Deserves 15.
Bargain.
It was Sixers Bulls 2012. I think D Rose got hurt that series.
Or was it? Did he get hurt that season?
Nope, that series.
The series.
Yeah, because weren't they up big and then he kept playing?
That was the game, right?
Yeah,
Was that when he drove to the basket?
103-91, and he kept playing, and then he got hurt.
He drove to the basket, got hurt underneath the basket. I want to say, or to the right of.
Oh, here we go. Look at this lineup: Spencer Hawes.
Dude, he could pop.
I ain't seen that name in a minute.
Iggy,
Drew Holiday, Sweet Lou, Iggy, Evan Turner, Elton Brand, Thad Young, Jody Meeks.
Ooh,
the shooter.
I've seen Thad Young and Evan Turner at AAU games before.
Spencer Hawes, dude.
I remember when people thought Evan Turner was going to be the next LeBron.
Evan Turner has the worst voice in the history of the
Yes, it's terrible. He does a podcast with Iggy.
The world, I don't know. It's bad.
Look at that Bulls team: Luol Deng,
Rip,
Boozer, Rip, Taj, C.J. Watson. Wow.
Corver.
Man, what's the
Omer Ashik.
Ashik was good, dude.
What's the Adult Swim cartoon with the
Jimmy
food?
Butler.
I don't know. It's what the pizza and the fries and the
Meat wad or
milkshake.
whatever. They say he talks like meat wad.
Oh yeah.
Evan Turner has a kid now, I think. That's probably why you saw him at AAU tournament?
I don't know. I mean, it's been a few years. Man, matter of fact,
Kawhi played all 7 of those games in the bubble.
what is that? That's one of Doc's infamous 3-1.
He averaged 24, 9, and 6, and then Pandemic P was 21, 5, and 3. Montrezl Harrell, Marcus Morris, Sweet Lou again.
Hey, Joakim Noah. Look at that.
Huh, sitting on the bench.
He just wanted to hang out in the bubble.
I mean, if you look at this Nuggets team, same
Where's
guys.
Gary Harris at?
Orlando.
Really?
Just making money for no reason.
Probably making it off of his bubble.
Yeah, I saw people saying
he loved it so much he didn't want to leave.
I saw people saying he should be here for the Nuggets. Like, he was there so long.
Paul Millsap too.
Yeah,
he was there for a little
he was a
while.
Hulk.
Yeah.
Gary Harris came up through the struggle with the Nuggets, and then they traded him from Gordon, and now they make the finals.
Millsap had a couple of really good Nuggets years though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean Gary Harris, would he come in 13 maybe? 2013? 2014.
Instagram name, that's G. Sound like he made that when he was 14.
Yeah, he's still in Orlando.
Girl, that's G.
10 a game. All right. Anything else with this? I guess you want to give our predictions. Who we thinking?
Nuggets with the gentleman's sweep, 4-1.
I mean that feels good. I think I'll go Denver in 6 though. I think it'll be 3-1, and then Miami gives it one last shot, and then the Nuggets close out in Miami.
So 3-1. So that means Miami will still win in Denver at the end. They'll still
they'll
game 5.
go back to game 5. Go back to game 5. Jimmy will give it his all, and then they won't have the energy to keep it going.
Okay.
Do I bet with my head or my heart?
Well, we're going. Hey, whatever you think. Whatever you think.
My head says Denver in 6, maybe 7. And my heart says Miami in 6, maybe 7. So
yeah. Hey, there you go.
I would love to see Jimmy Butler Game 7 the NBA Finals.
It'd be awesome, man.
Which I
He'd
also
be running
wanted
on
to see
fumes.
I wanted to see him do it the other day as well.
Yeah.
Game 7, but I'll take this. Does he play all 48 every game, you think? Or is he past that stage?
They better not in the
He's
first
past
two.
the Thibodeau stage of his career.
He better not play him in the first two, all 48.
It's like the Hoop Collective podcast with Brian Windhorst.
Oh, yeah.
I hate Brian Windhorst so much.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite one.
Because he loves LeBron. That's why he likes him so much.
Did you see him say that about what was it? If the Celtics would have came back from 3-0, it still wouldn't have been more impressive than LeBron's or something.
Well, how about this? If LeBron would have never accepted an interview from you when he was 17, you wouldn't have a job at ESPN.
That's
how
true.
about that?
That could be true.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think, though, they played that up pretty big with Boston. I mean, there are
they were wanting it, man.
And you think, like, you're a 2 seed, vastly underperforming to an 8 seed that barely made the playoffs.
Yeah.
Play-in tournament.
And then
lost in the play-in tournament for a game.
The best part, as a certified Celtics hater, I'm not a certified Celtics hater, but, for those out there, it's almost as good as just sweeping them, as letting them get that hope back and then beating them at home in Game 7.
Yeah.
So,
just ripping out their hearts, you know.
Listen to that podcast. Tim Bontemps was talking about it and, making their pick or whatever. And he said, you get to a point where you say, yeah, the Heat have no chance, but this is the 4th round now that people have said.
Yes,
It's like at some point you just throw your hands up.
Oh, they have a shot. They have a shot.
And that's the kind of irrational confidence I think that Jimmy Butler and Spo put into people, including myself, to where you just think you have a chance, and that's all you ask for in the NBA.
Yeah,
you just want a chance, and I think that all the star power of Jimmy Butler and just he's a psychopath.
Yes,
and the perfect complementary guys around him give you a chance. I mean, that's all you can ask for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see the story about him and Coco Gauff, the tennis girl. He told her before the playoffs, "Do you want me to get you tickets to the finals in Miami?"
He dating her or something?
I think they're just friends. He said, "Do you want me to get you tickets to the finals in Miami?" She said, "Sure." And yeah, he's here.
He seems like a nice guy too.
And you think back to the after they lost that Game 7 last year when he said, "We're gonna be right back in this spot next year," and it was literally a Game 7 against Boston, and he made it change. So,
do you think the Celtics give Jalen the extension, Supermax?
That money it's so much money.
And then, man, you think
I think they got to move him.
You think about that second apron coming in the new CBA to where, man, it penalizes.
You can't do MLEs. Can't
when
use
will
those.
Tatum be up for his?
He's on 1 right now, but
because at this point you have to pick. They're having to pick right now,
or you get both, and then you have to get rid of like a Smart, Brogdon.
Yeah. They've got
the complimentary guys.
They're losing Grant Williams. There's no way they keep Grant Williams.
Yeah.
And I think they've got until October to decide on Jalen.
Yeah.
So then you've got a million different things floated around.
October?
Dame.
Well,
he's not a free agent.
When the season starts, it runs out.
For the extension. I mean, if you don't offer it by
he'll be going in his final year then.
It's something like how many times do you run it back? It's been the same course since 2018.
I mean,
17?
they had run it back after last year.
Yeah, but it's essentially been the same team since.
They could have won that series last year. They very well could have, and they could have. And
I mean, they could very easily be in the finals.
And then
it wouldn't have surprised me this
year.
And then this year you look at it like, okay, they underperformed, like you said, so much really throughout the playoffs because they could have lost that Philly series.
It's just how long do you say could?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Very Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum is to a much higher extent.
Yeah,
Or
they
CP3, James Harden.
They made the finals one time. That's it. Like,
I mean, you got Jaylen Brown taking heat check 3-pointers. They're like, yep, still not hot, So.
And that's the thing about him. Every time he shot those, I'm like, it's going in. Like it felt like it was gonna go down. It just never did. It's crazy. It honestly, it felt to me like Harrison Barnes 2016 finals. Yep. Like he's gonna be that scapegoat. They're gonna get him out of there. Everybody's turned on him now. They make the big splash.
What's their big splash gonna be?
Trade him.
Damian Lillard.
And
can they
that's
get
one.
Dame?
Uh-huh.
They can get Dame.
If
Dame wants out, yeah.
If they can sign Jaylen Brown,
that's
$50
true.
million something.
Yeah,
he'd be cheaper, right? He'd be cheaper than Brown.
Yeah, he can only. Well, Brown can only get. He can get the 5 for $266 or whatever in Boston, but elsewhere the most he can get is 4 for like $190.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit cheaper for him to go elsewhere.
Money situations and crap in the NBA is just so confusing.
It is.
They've overcomplicated it so much, and to have a salary cap, it makes it harder.
You can't have a $55 million perimeter player that cannot dribble a basketball.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
You ever heard of Klay Thompson?
Well, he don't have to dribble.
That's true.
He can score.
That's
what
true.
Was it 60 points on 11 dribbles
Yes,
or whatever it was?
exactly.
That's completely different.
One of one.
Yeah, Caleb Martin said in some interview or conference or whatever, somebody asked him about Jaylen Brown's dribbling, and he said that was the plan.
He can't go left.
Just don't let him go. I mean, that's it. So
you guard the right side of his body.
Yeah, straight up.
I think it'll be.
There's too many guys like that in the NBA.
I think the Celtics cannot get sucked into trying to keep it together. I think they're going to screw themselves over trying to hold this together instead of trying to
make
get
the
out
splash.
in front of it. Yeah.
Like if you're the Warriors,
it hasn't worked.
The
Try
Warriors literally won a championship. The next year had the best regular season in history. In history, we're up 3-1, one game away from the championship. We lose. We get rid of Barnes, get rid of Bogut, get rid of Barbosa, get rid of so many key guys.
Strip it down
and bring in, make the splash and bring in KD.
And then win 2 straight.
Yeah, win 2 more, and should have won a third if we'd have been healthy. Like it's so crazy. You got to know when to let go.
But
so many teams don't.
I guess that's Brad Stevens' decision. Is he GM or president?
I think he's anything.
He's just
everything.
Boston.
He's the Celtics front office.
He's Brad, Coach Brad.
Yeah, that's definitely something to be watching for. Off season's going to be really, really crazy. I feel you got a lot of situations and with the Warriors that are going on. GM's gone now, so we'll see how that goes.
Ja Morant being suspended for a long period of time,
yeah,
possibly.
That already seems like an afterthought.
That's some of the funniest stuff, man. People comment on Damian Lillard's live.
Yes. Yes.
Jalen Green had it happen to him.
Jalen Green said, "I ain't got no gun." And then I was thinking, like, I wouldn't just say that either, Like I wouldn't say that.
In Houston.
Yeah, like pretty dangerous area you're saying that there, Jalen.
And then the Lakers, you never know what they're going to do. You don't feel like they're just going to run it back with the same team, but that seems like the most plausible way to go.
Who all's underneath contract? AD, LeBron,
and
is it Rui?
And it's AD, LeBron, and Max Christie. I think that's only 3.
Because it wasn't a lot.
They can bring Rui back fairly easily.
Yeah, everyone's saying that they're going to bring back Rui and Reeves no matter what. But then what? So
Philly will be interesting too.
Philly, yeah.
Harden's gone probably.
I've been reading Van Vliet.
Yeah,
really?
To Philly, which would be
Nick Nurse.
That'll be interesting.
That he's a younger version of Harden.
Or do you just, like I said, how long do you keep it going? Can Embiid do it? Move him. Move him.
Move him because I know where he's wanting to go.
Move him.
Where's he want to go? Miami.
Reunite with Jimmy Buckets.
There you go. We'll give you Bam.
Bam
and Duncan Robinson's contract.
I'll give you Bam and Hero at this point.
And Hero, yeah.
Hero ain't been playing, so.
Yeah.
And Strus.
Why need Hero when you have Gabe Vincent and Max Strus? All right.
You think, man, and the guys that the Heat have not traded for just to make sure, just to keep Tyler Hero out of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Is crazy, but
yep. All right. Well, I think that's it for this one. Can't wait for these finals. Basketball's almost over, but right when it ends, it begins again. That's the great part about it. The draft will be like a week after, and then the off season starts about 10 days after that, and NBA never sleeps. So
my favorite part of the year is the off season.
Heck yeah, I stay up. I stay up
Day
all night
one.
that first day. Which I love that they moved it to prime time now.
Still remember JJ Redick being the first person signed.
Yep.
One year.
Trade deadline. I love the trade deadline.
Oh yeah.
Nobody does trade deadline and off season.
Oh yeah,
like
they do the
NBA
drama
does.
the best. It's the best.
NFL does off season pretty good.
Yeah, but not that many people go day one. With NBA, then they're signing immediately
because they've been doing that illegal tampering.
You have legal tampering periods now.
So dumb.
They push the clock on both ends during the trade deadline. You'll have deals coming through at 2:58 when the deadline's at 3:00, and then
you don't know about 30 minutes after they still might be coming through.
Yeah, and then free agency. There's people that have had apparently hours-long negotiations within like 15 seconds.
Yeah,
So
Woj will tweet out.
Like 30 drafts in their phone.
DeAndre Jordan's locked into his house.
Yeah.
Never going to forget that.
So crazy. All right, that's
time.
it. Go Warriors. Go Warriors. Go Heat, I guess. Go Nuggets. Hey, let's just give us a good finals. That's all we ask for.
Please, please, please.
This ain't how it's supposed to be. It should be just you and me. I feel